welcome back to my channel. My name is Fahima. Long time no see. Today I'm gonna be sharing about my July, August, September and October read. I know it's very late, but it is what it is. The girl just had many things happened around her, and today is actually my wedding anniversary, so I'm in a very good mood. So I think why not make a video about books, things I love. We're gonna be starting with my July reads, where I read total of 7 books. I was like on a roll in this month. The first one, Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm not in love with this book at all. Reading Ali Hazelwood has been a roller coaster for me because I love hypothesis, and then I hate love theoretically, and then I love bride, and then I hate this book. I'm not resonating with the characters because I don't know, I don't think they're in love. Me too, I'm not in love with them. There are no chemistry between them, and it's just a shame. So I'm sorry, Ali. I'm gonna give you 2 stars. And then moving on to the next book, I read Trees by Percival Everett. I read this book because Percival Everett was being shortlisted for the Booker Prize this year, but sadly he didn't win with his James, which is a retelling about the Huckleberry Finn. This is a historical fiction, so it's kind of a retelling about a boy named Emmett Till. He passed away at 14 in 1955. He was black and he got bullied by a woman who told the people that, oh, he was sexual assaulting me. But in the end, Emmett didn't do anything. She just framed him, and Emmett got killed by her brothers. It's actually kind of dark, the story, but it's amazing how Percival Everett brought the heavy topic because it's about racism, it's about differences, it's about things that happened a long time ago, but it's kind of sad because it's still happening in nowadays. But how he wrote the story with a very wittiness in it, I love the book, and I gave it 5 stars because I really had a great time reading this. Third book I read in July was Summer Romance by Annabel Monaghan. I know that she is many people's favorite from her Nora Goes Off script because Helly fam love that, Destiny said well love that, but I don't think I love her. It's about a romance story between a single mother and her best friend's little brother, and I don't see any chemistry between them. But I was sad throughout the book. It brought tears here and there. I didn't quite enjoy the book, but I didn't also hate the book. I think it was an okay read. I gave this book 3 stars. And then I read The Housemaid's Secret, which is the sequel of The Housemaid by Freida mcfadden. We all knew that Freida mcfadden is a big name on thriller. I love The Housemaid so much because the plot twist is just so good. And I do think that with this one, she did a slightly better work because I love the plot twist. I think the plot twist is plot twisting, and I just finished this book in a day. I know that a thriller book is good or not by judging if the book is fast-paced or not, and by finishing this book in a day, it just shows how much I manifested into this book. So yeah, 5 stars. And here comes one of the best books I read in 2024. It's called Blue Sisters by mellors. So it's a special edition. It has this sprayed edge of the name of the sisters. So it's about 4 sisters, Avery, Bonnie, Nikki, and Lucky. They were dwelling about Nikki's passing. Avery, Bonnie, Lucky, they are scattered around the world. They just have these ways to cope with the situation. I always like if the book is centered towards women, and by this it's about sisterhood. I don't have sister, but I want one after reading this book. I fell in love with this book as soon as this book started. A sister is not a friend who can explain the urge to take a relationship as primal and complex as a sibling and reduce it to something as replaceable, as banal as a friend. Yet the status is used again and again to connote the highest intimacy. My mother is my best friend, my husband is my best friend. No, true sisterhood, the kind where you grow fingernails in the same room or push screaming through identical birth canals, is not the same as friendship. You don't choose each other, and there's no further period of getting to know the other. You're part of each other right from the start. Coco Mellors is the writer of Cleopatra and Frankenstein, which I very much love, and I think she did it again. I love it so much. So after reading romance, thriller fiction, and historical fiction, I was just craving for a fantasy book, so I grabbed this beautiful one, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and it also has a very beautiful sprayed edge. I love this one so much. If you remove the dust jacket, it's just so pretty. It's about a vampire, which is new for me because I've never read any book about vampire before. If I compare this book to any similar one, I think I would compare it to Fourth Wing because there's also kind of a competition here, but in this vampire world. I very much enjoy my time reading this book. I had the second book already and I couldn't wait to continue my journey on reading this book, so 4 stars. And the last book I read from the month of July was The Housemaid is Watching, which is the third and the final installment of the Housemaid series by Freida mcfadden. After very much enjoying the second book, The Housemaid's Secret, I decided to why not finish it already because this book is out and I hate it so much. I think Freida mcfadden, she tried too hard. I love the first half of the book, but then after that it felt so rushed, and the plot twist, I think she just forced it. Oh, I want a plot twist, but for the sake of plot twist, not for the sake of the good story, good time. And I didn't appreciate this book because what a way to end the series. Freida, I'm very disappointed in you. You could have done better than this. But I must say that I have to give this book 3 stars rather than below 3 stars because, like I said, the first half, love it. The second half, no. So yeah, that's this 7th book I read from the month of July. In August, I just read 4 books, starting with Tommy Orange, There. I read this book because Tommy Orange is longlisted for the Booker Prize this year with Wandering Stars, and I found this last copy of the book in Posanta, so I snatched it. It's about a Native American because Tommy Orange is a Native American, but the characters, they have like tons of characters. Let me count first. 12 characters. So in the beginning, there is a list of cast of characters, and it's all about the 12 characters, which they are very different. They have each stories, and the ending towards the end, they are like gathered together in one place in one story. I think he's so brilliant in bringing them together with a story. One thing I like about this book is the ending, only the ending, and the characters confused me so much, but I shed a tear reading the ending, so 3 stars. Not bad, but not good. And then I read Mr. Celery by Miss Sally Rooney herself. It's very, very, very short because it's only 33 pages and the font is quite big. I read this book because I counted it as a warm-up before her newest book is out this year, Intermezzo. I love Mrs. Celery so much because it reminded me of her writing, and I very miss her writing so much. I'm not quite satisfied with the story here and there. I know this is a short story with 33 pages on it, but I just want some more. Nevertheless, 3 stars, and I really hope Sally Rooney would be making a novel about this story. And then I read another romance book, and this book is I thrifted in the market for only $1. The Real Book by Sarah Adams. It's a sports romance, and sadly, it's not for me. I don't really like the characters. I mean the chemistry between them. Sarah Adams wrote so many romance stories which going viral, but I don't think it's for me, so I'm sorry. It was an okay read, 3 stars, and I'm not gonna be reading another book by her. And then I read Daisy Haites, which is the 2nd book of the Magnolia Parks Magnolia Parks universe. It's obviously not about Magnolia, but it's about Daisy Haites. The same as the first book, this book is also toxic. Brace yourself, but I love the non-romance part about this book because it's about mafia. Her brother, Daisy's brother, is Julian, and I love him so much, and I wish he ended up with someone and Jessa would be writing his story, his romance story, because what a man he is. I love him. So that's the 4 books I read in August. Technically it's 3 books and 1 tiny story, but we're gonna count it as a book because it's a book. Okay, moving on to the next one. In September, we starting with 2 Can't Keep a Secret by mcmanus. It's a standalone. It's a young adult thriller. If you guys enjoy A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which is the same genre as this one, I highly recommend you this one because it also gives you a good time reading, and I love the plot twist also. I'm gonna be rating this book 4 stars. And then I read Between Us by mcfarlane because Haley Van told us that she loved the writer so much. I believe she's from Ireland or somewhere in the UK but not England, and the language itself is very UK-ish, so we will be having a little hard time grasping the story for the first time, but once we get hooked in the story, it's just mind-blowing. I love the romance so bad. If you guys want to read about romance which is real, I think, and not just lovey-dovey, it's about adult romance but not with the adult sins, I recommend you to read this one 4 stars. And the last book that I read in September was The Guest by Emma Cline. I know that this has another cover, the green one, and it was so beautiful, but I got it thrifted, so I wouldn't complain. And I love this book so much. It was actually being rated so low on Goodreads, and I'm so surprised that I actually liking the book so much. But it's about an unlikable character named Alex. She's just 22 years old, and her hobby is swimming, and making problems. I love this book quite unexpectedly because it's about an unlikable character, but the story itself is so likable and it's so fun. Basically, it's not fun because it's problematic and unlikable character, but I couldn't quite put another word other than fun by reading this book. The main character, Alex, is in her highest delusional level, and her confidence and blindness to an inevitable made this book so enjoyable. And the main character's ability to observe others and manipulate others, it's such a pain in the ass. I wouldn't recommend this book if you don't like unlikable characters. Also, the non-existence of growth in the characters, and also the plot will make us stressed. But I love it so much. I enjoy reading this one, and I give this book 5 stars. So that's the 3 books I read in September. Not quite shady. I was busy at that month, and I'm proud of myself by finishing these 3 books. And then moving on to October, where I read 4 books, 3 purple-ish and 1 blue-ish. The first one is another book by Hazelwood, Love on the Brain. I love this book. I think she's the master of STEM-related novel romance book because I love Levi, I love B, I love it. 4 stars. And then I read Killjoy by Holly Jackson, who wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So this is the prequel of the book. You could read it before or after reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It won't change a thing because it didn't contain any spoiler from the series. It actually helped us on knowing how Pete, the main character, is, how she started the project towards the series, and I just miss her so bad. And I heard that she wrote another book out in next year, and I couldn't wait to read and devour her book. For me, Killjoy, enjoyable read, I love that. 4 stars. And then I read Daydream, which is the 3rd book. The first one is Icebreaker, the second is Wildfire, and this is the 3rd one, which I highly anticipated because we all love the main character Henry from the first book, but this book sucks so bad. I couldn't quite connect with the characters. I couldn't quite resonate with them. I think they are annoying. Henry is also annoying. kinda grayish. I'm so disappointed with you. 2 stars. And then the last book I read in October, Anna Huang, the striker, she wrote another series, new series, and it's about soccer. I love soccer. I used to play soccer at high school and at university. I love that it gave me a very enjoyable time because I love the story, I love the chemistry between them. I shed tears here and there, and this is a first deluxe edition, I think. So when we open the book, we're gonna be seeing this art, which is so beautiful. So yeah, that's the 4 books I read in the month of October. Let me recap. In July, I read a total of 7 books. In August, I read 4 books. September, 3 books. And October, 4 books. The total is 18 books. 18 books in the span of 4 months. So yeah, guys, that's all for today's video. I'll see you guys in November and December reading wrap up. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below if you guys have read any of these books, and tell me about your opinions about the books. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.